So Revan. Revan is a character from the universe of Star Wars. He is often one of the most overlooked characters because not a lot of people know about him. He was at one point one of the most powerful Jedi possibly to ever live, and also one of the most powerful Sith. Now, even though the Star Wars movies say they happened a long, long time ago in a galaxy far away, the story of Revan actually happened 4,000 years prior to the movies. So if you think the movies happened a long time ago, this is definitely way before that. Now, I'm just going to be talking about the main parts of Revan's life, not from the very beginning, just the main crucial parts. So the first thing to talk about is the Mandalorian Wars. So basically the Mandalorian Wars there was this group of people called the Mandalorians that wanted to take over the galaxy. They were just a ruthless people that only cared about themselves. And their leader went by the name of Mandalorian. I hope that's big enough for people to see. So the Mandalorians were going out, conquering all these planets, and fighting against the Republic, and the Jedi Order refused to help. The Jedi Masters warned that they didn't want any Jedi to get into the war, but they never gave a reason why. So there were two Jedi that went against the teachings of the Jedi Order. Their names were Revan and Alec. And they betrayed the Jedi Order because they wanted to help the Republic to defend against the Mandalorian army. So after about 16 years, this war went on. And throughout those years, many more Jedi followed Revan and Alec in fighting the Mandalorians. And the very last battle occurred on the planet of Malachor 5, which is this planet here. Revan and Alec were able to push the Mandalorians back all the way to this planet. It was their last stronghold. And this was the picture. This is what the planet looked like before the battle, and this is what it looked like after. The battle was so intense it literally destroyed the entire planet.
Oh, that's nice.
And because of this battle was so intense, and because of all the fighting and death that occurred, Revan and Alec were so consumed by the dark side that they eventually became Sith, and they called themselves Darth Revan and Darth Alec. They were both a force to be reckoned with, and were known as the two most powerful Sith in the entire galaxy. They returned to the planet of Dantooine, where they found an ancient map to a fortress called the Star Forge, hidden in deep space, and that's what this is down here. It was a space station created 20,000 years before this, so it's even older than that. And it was from an ancient race that no longer existed. And from this station, they were able to create a mass fleet to fight against the Republic. So even though that they joined the Republic to fight against the Mandalorians, now that they became Sith, they were consumed by the dark side and they began to fight the Republic. And so now, even though the Mandalorian Wars ended, now we have a whole new war called the Jedi Civil War. After about 2 years of fighting, the Jedi had set up a trap to capture Revan aboard his Star Command ship. And while they were on his ship, Darth Malak took advantage of this, and he actually tried to destroy Revan's own ship with all the Jedi on it. So that way, if he could kill Revan, then he would be the new Sith Master. While Revan was unconscious, but there was a Jedi on the ship named Bastila. And since the Jedi do not believe in killing their prisoners, she took Revan and rescued him while he was unconscious. Bastila brought Revan to the Jedi Council, and the Jedi Council completely erased Revan's mind and gave him a brand new identity, so he completely forgot all his past. He didn't even remember he used to be a Sith. They retrained Revan in the Force because he was so powerful in the Force, and they sent him and Bastila on a mission to go find the Star Forge, so that way they could destroy it. So they traveled across many systems to find the Star Forge because there were these maps that were placed across different planets from the race that built it. So throughout their quest, they're captured by Darth Malak, and Darth Malak reveals to Revan his true identity of who he used to be. And when they were trying to escape this encounter, Basila stayed behind so that Revan could escape, and she eventually was turned to the dark side by Darth Malak. By the end of the war, they finally had found the Star Forge, and the Republic was able to destroy it. And Revan was finally able to destroy his own Sith master, or once Sith apprentice, Darth Malak, and was able to save Basila from the dark side. So, after the Jedi Civil War, there was a time of peace for about 2 years. But Revan started having visions of what he thought really happened behind the Mandalorian Wars. He thought there was something bigger going on behind all of this. So after he had these visions, he realized that it wasn't the Mandalorians that actually caused the original Mandalorian Wars. He realized that there was some unknown Sith force in unknown space. So he decides to leave everyone he knows behind, and he travels into unknown space where no one knows where he went. So while he was gone, there were three new Sith Lords that came out as a result of the Mandalorian Wars, which is part of what he had foreseen. These 3 Sith Lords were able to destroy all the remaining Jedi except one. For the next 2 years, there were no Jedi left except this last Jedi, and her name is Mitra Sur. She was able to train a new group of Jedi Knights, and they were able to stop the 3 Sith Lords. After the 3 Sith Lords were stopped, she heard about Revan and where he had went, and she went off to find him. Now there's still many more stories to tell. These are just the most important ones. There are many more battles that Mitra Sur and Revan had against the true Sith. But I hope you enjoyed just the main one.
Thank you.